Can you recall the last time you opened the door to your crowded storage room, or perhaps that rented storage unit far out in the suburbs? You look at dozens of cardboard boxes, items you haven't touched in 10 years, and you ask yourself, exactly what purpose are these things serving? We've spent a lifetime working, accumulating, and buying. We believed that the more we had, the safer, the happier we would be. But after 60, looking back, do we truly own these things? Or are these very things silently owning us back? This is the crucial question I want you to contemplate right now. Welcome to my channel, Buddha Essence Wisdom. I'm here to share the truths that help us live most fully in these precious later years. If these reflections resonate with you, please hit the subscribe button on my channel today to support me in creating more future videos. Today we're going to talk about the very first of 13 things I believe simply makes no sense after we cross the age of 60, accumulating and clinging to excess possessions. I want to tell you about a friend I know. Let's call him John, 65. He just retired after a successful career. He owns 3 homes and a separate rented storage unit just for his parents' old furniture. When I asked him, "John, do you actually need all this?" he replied, "I need to keep them to feel secure, just in case." Have you ever felt that way? That deep-seated feeling that our worth and security are anchored to the sheer number of objects we own? But here is an ironic truth. It is these physical possessions that are actually obscuring the value of true experiences and relationships. Every unused item in your home doesn't just take up physical space. It occupies your mental space. It creates a silent burden. You have to maintain it, insure it, and sometimes you feel guilty for not using it. In Buddhist philosophy, we learn about attachment, that clinging is the very root of suffering. When we cling to possessions, we are dedicating our precious energy and time to things that will inevitably fade away. My expert view studies on retired older adults consistently show that gratitude and the quality of relationships are far better predictors of happiness than the scale of one's assets. After 60, the most valuable things we have are time and energy. If owning an object means you have to spend 1 hour a week managing it, then that object is stealing an hour you could use to play with your grandchildren, walk in nature, or call an old friend. The goal after 60 is not to accumulate more, but to liberate, to free ourselves from the burden of too much, to create space for just enough, for deep inner peace, for genuine presence, and for profound, lasting experiences. That leads us to the second thing that simply makes no spiritual sense after 60 clinging to outdated goals. Think back to your 30-year-old self. That person was navigating a completely different world driven by ambition, perhaps by a need to prove worth, often chasing promotions, prestige, and accumulating those 7, 8, or 9 zeros in the bank account. These were the goals of survival and establishment. They served you well, they got you here. But wisdom requires us to examine, do those goals still fit the person you see in the mirror today? I often speak with clients who are terrified of retiring because they feel like they are admitting failure, or worse, admitting irrelevance. They fear losing the title because the title was for so long the definition of success. But the liberating truth is this: success after 60 looks fundamentally different. It is measured not in the speed of the climb, but in the quality of the view from where you are standing. It is measured not in external validation, but in internal freedom. I want you to imagine 2 mornings. In the first morning, you wake up to a blaring alarm, rushing to manage an outdated goal, perhaps finishing a project that adds more money you don't need, or attending a meeting with people whose opinions no longer nourish your soul. In the second morning, you wake up naturally, spending your day exactly as you choose. Maybe that means mentoring a young person. Maybe it means finally learning that new skill you always postponed. Or maybe it simply means savoring the profound stillness of a quiet cup of coffee. The Buddhist path teaches us to practice right aspiration, to align our goals with wisdom and compassion. After 60, our truest aspiration shifts. We trade the frantic pace, accumulation, for the spaciousness of being. We trade the need for proof for the quiet joy of presence. Letting go of an old ambition is not a sign of failure. It is a profound act of spiritual growth. It means you have evolved beyond the script that your younger self wrote for you. Success now is measured by: do you have the freedom to say no to what drains you? Do you have the health to enjoy your grandchildren? Do you feel peace in your own skin? These are not lesser goals. These are truer goals, aligned with the wisdom that only age can bring. So I invite you to pause today and gently ask your heart, which of my old dusty trophies of ambition am I finally ready to put back on the shelf, making space for the true radiant joy of the present? In the previous 2 sections, we bravely liberated our physical space and the space held by ambition. Now we must confront a much more constant and subtle burden, which is our mental capacity that we offer to others. The third thing I believe has no reason to be tolerated after 60 is continuing to waste precious energy on toxic relationships. Let's be honest with ourselves. Throughout our 30s and 40s, we felt compelled to be polite, patient, and accommodating. We maintained relationships that should have ended long ago: the friend who only calls when they need a favor, the acquaintance who constantly complains but never changes, or even the family member whose every comment feels like a small wound. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever maintained a relationship simply because of shared history, habit, or out of fear of being perceived as unkind? As an expert who has worked with older adults for many years, I want to make a strong assertion. Politeness, when it comes at the expense of your own peace, is not a virtue. It is an act of self-betrayal. Our minds after 60 no longer absorb stress with the same capacity as they did at 20. Scientific research confirms that chronic stress from negative interactions raises cortisol levels, a hormone that literally erodes your well-being, weakens your immune system, and causes inflammation throughout your body. Toxic connections don't just exhaust you emotionally, they harm you biologically. In Buddhism, there's a profound teaching: you cannot pour from an empty cup. You do not need dramatic confrontations or declarations. Setting a boundary is not an act of coldness, it is an act of self-respect. Freedom after 60 comes from discernment. You don't have to answer every call or accept every invitation. Allow those invitations to pass. Allow those calls to go to voicemail. These are acts of wisdom. They are how you protect your presence. You worked hard your entire adult life to achieve financial independence. Do not waste it by allowing others to steal your mental capacity, look, and precious energy. You deserve to be surrounded by nourishing connections, by conversations that leave you feeling lighter, not heavier. Free yourself from old, heavy relationships to create space for connections that truly respect, see, and honor who you are. We've talked about letting go of toxic people in our lives. But what about the toxic people and the toxic emotions that still live inside our heads? The grudges we secretly nourish, the old hurts that we revisit, or the profound mistakes that we made decades ago. That brings us to the fourth thing that makes absolutely no spiritual sense after 60. Denying or holding on to unresolved regrets and past traumas. I want you to imagine your mind as an old courtroom. Do you still find yourself stepping into that courtroom mentally arguing with someone who wronged you 20 years ago? Do you still convict your younger self for a decision made when you lack the wisdom you possess today? Regret is like a heavy, unseen luggage we drag behind us, and every unresolved trauma is another item packed inside. The older we get, the heavier the load becomes, draining our most precious life force and preventing us from walking lightly in the present. A dear friend of mine, upon turning 62, confessed to me that he spent every Tuesday morning mentally fighting with his former business partner, even though the partnership ended 15 years ago. He was dedicating his most alert energy of the week to a ghost. When he finally realized this, he said, "I haven't been fighting him. I've been fighting the phantom of my own anger." This is where true liberation begins. The past is not real, it is a phantom, a story we repeatedly tell ourselves. The only presence you truly have to shape is this moment right now. In Buddhist wisdom, we learn that forgiveness is not a gift you give to the person who harmed you, it is the gift you give to yourself. You forgive not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace. You deserve to close that courtroom. This applies equally to self-forgiveness. You cannot carry the mistakes of your 30-year-old self into the wisdom of your 60-year-old self. Your younger self did the best they could with the information they had. Carrying self-criticism into your later precious years is a quiet, brutal form of self-sabotage. Our remaining energy is meant for integration, for healing, and for shaping a beautiful legacy, not for litigation against events that are over. When we stop denying the pain, accept the lesson, and finally release the story, we reclaim all the life force we were previously leaking into the past. So I invite you to take a breath and name the one old grudge or one old regret you are ready to leave on the courtroom floor today. Let that weight drop. You have earned the right to walk free. We've achieved internal freedom by releasing the ghosts of the past. Now let's talk about how we carry ourselves in the world. After 60, many of us still feel the invisible pressure of a youth-obsessed culture, a pressure that targets our most visible form, our physical self. The fifth thing that becomes spiritually nonsensical as we embrace our remaining years is treating your body as a trophy, focusing only on aesthetics. For decades, society taught us that the body is something to be displayed, to be judged, and to be perpetually fixed. We spent massive energy trying to make our bodies look like they did 30 years ago. We dieted not for health, but for vanity. We pushed ourselves not for function, but for aesthetic perfection. I want you to imagine this. If you were trying to impress a judge in a beauty contest, who exactly is that judge now? Are you truly trying to impress the world? Or are you still trying to impress the person you used to be? As a spiritual expert, I see the body through a different lens. Your body is not a trophy to be won, polished, and put on a shelf. It is a sacred vehicle that has carried your spirit through every joy, every heartbreak, and every success of your life. It has done its job faithfully. The highest wisdom here is understanding impermanence, Anika. Change is the only constant, fighting the natural signs of aging, the wrinkles. The changes in shape is fighting reality itself. And fighting reality is the definition of suffering. The shift we must make is from aesthetics to vitality. We must prioritize. Function. Can I still tie my own shoes? Can I walk in nature without pain? Strength. Do I have the strength to lift my grandchildren? Movement. Is my movement joyful and restorative? Your body deserves compassion. Karuna and careful maintenance, not punishment and unrealistic expectations. I encourage you to shift your daily movement from punishment to pleasure. Don't work out to look younger. Move your body to feel more alive and to ensure your physical container remains capable of holding the beautiful presence you have cultivated. Honor your body for its resilience, its capacity to heal, and its loyal service. When you stop chasing the phantom of youth and start nourishing the vessel of wisdom, you unlock a profound sense of self-acceptance and peace. So let's agree today, our bodies are temples of wisdom, not trophies of vanity. Treat yours with respect and gratitude for the journey it has taken you on. We have nourished our physical vessel and cleared our hearts of old hurts. But there is one final insidious habit of the mind that continues to drain our precious life force, a habit that runs so deep we often don't even notice it's happening. That brings us to the sixth thing that truly makes no sense in these later years: comparing yourself to others. I'm talking about that quiet internal mental accounting. She looks younger. He has a bigger bank account. They travel more often. Their children visit every weekend. It's the subtle betrayal of our own unique path, the constant measurement against a fictional scorecard that was put away years ago. I want you to imagine this for a moment. After all the decades you have lived, all the challenges you have overcome, are you still submitting your life for external review? Are you still waiting for the judge to announce a winner in a race that has no finish line? Comparison is a thief. It steals your contentment and blinds you to the simple, profound beauty of your own journey. When you fixate on what you lack based on someone else's highlight reel, you automatically diminish what you already possess. In our work on Buddha essence, wisdom, we teach that the wise do not compare. They understand, they accept, and they appreciate the present moment exactly as it is. Research consistently shows that gratitude is a far better predictor of happiness than any external achievement. Yet, comparison robs you of both gratitude and peace. We must remember, you are only seeing the perfectly curated facade of someone else's life. You see their vacation photos, not their loneliness. You see their smiles, not their silent struggles. After 60, you have earned the wisdom to know better. You must embody the truth that your worth is inherent, unchanging, and complete. It is not determined by how your achievements stack up against anyone else's.
Think of it like this. Some people's gardens bloom early, others bloom late. Some bloom quietly in the shade and others bloom loudly in the sun. None of these cycles invalidate the others. Your unique blossoming is perfectly scheduled according to your own journey. When you finally stop comparing, something remarkable happens. You begin to see your own life clearly. You notice the small miracles you've been overlooking: the warmth of morning sun, the taste of your favorite meal, the joy of a familiar routine. These simple pleasures become extraordinary because you have stopped measuring them against someone else's version of extraordinary. So I invite you to declare today that the race is over. Drop the scorecard. Focus your remaining precious energy on celebrating the one life that truly matters, the one you are living right now. We have spent our precious energy clearing out the mental clutter of comparison and the emotional debris of the past. Now we arrive at the foundational truth of our later years. If the body is the sacred vessel for your spirit,
What sense does it make to neglect its maintenance? This brings us to the seventh thing that makes absolutely no sense after 60: neglecting your health. When you were younger, your physical self was incredibly forgiving. Late nights fueled by ambition, rushed meals. Stress carried like a badge of honor. Your body absorbed it all and kept going. But after 60, that forgiveness stops. The bill comes due. Every choice you make now echoes louder and with greater consequence than it ever did before. I want you to think about this stark reality: your remaining healthy years. Those vibrant years when you can still move easily, think sharply, and participate fully are the most limited resource you possess. Health is no longer about vanity. It is about survival. It is about freedom. Without it, travel disappears, independence crumbles, and the hobbies you love become impossible.
Imagine two people at 75. One is confined to a waiting room managing chronic illness. The other is hiking, volunteering, and fully engaged with their grandchildren. The difference between those two lives was determined by the choices made at 60. Scientific wisdom, much like Buddhist wisdom, affirms that it is never too late to begin. Small, consistent changes, a diet rich in whole foods, 50 minutes of moderate activity each week, or learning new skills to keep your brain engaged, these are not burdens. They are magnificent gifts you give yourself. The goal is not simply adding years to your life. The goal is adding life to your years. It is the difference between spending your 70s and 80s exploring the world or being trapped by preventable conditions. Taking care of your body now is the most radical act of self-respect you can perform. It is choosing to honor your vehicle, ensuring it remains strong enough to carry your cultivated wisdom and your peaceful presence forward. You deserve the vitality and independence that comes from respecting your own foundation. We have committed to protecting our health, the physical vessel. Now we must protect the environment that holds our spirit. For many of us, the second half of our lives is still cluttered with invitations and expectations that drain our vital energy without nourishing our souls. This leads us to the eighth thing that makes no spiritual sense after 60: forcing yourself into endless social obligations. For decades, we lived by a code of constant activity. We felt we had to attend every office party, every distant relative's dinner, every neighborhood gathering. We felt we had to be seen to be relevant. The fear of missing out or the fear of disappointing others often drove our decisions. I want you to examine your calendar for a moment. Look at the next event you're dreading. Are you saying yes out of genuine anticipation, or are you saying yes out of a deep-seated obligation? Do you truly want to go, or are you going because you fear the silent judgment of a relative or a friend? After 60, the metric of social fulfillment dramatically changes. It is no longer about the quantity of people you see, it is entirely about the quality of the connection. One single deep conversation with a trusted friend is worth dozens of superficial, draining interactions. Your precious years are not meant to be spent enduring boredom or manufactured excitement. This is where the spiritual practice of solitude becomes essential. Many people confuse solitude with loneliness. Loneliness is a painful state of isolation. Solitude is a chosen restorative state of inner peace. It is the necessary practice of sitting with your own presence, allowing your soul to breathe and hearing the quiet voice of your own wisdom. Your no is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of fierce self-care. It is a boundary that protects your emotional reserves. Remember that no is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone a dramatic explanation for choosing serenity over social chaos. Choose to reserve your most alert energy for the connections that truly uplift and honor you, and for the quiet contemplation that deepens your spiritual walk. True social freedom is found not in filling your schedule, but in clearing it out so that the truly meaningful connections can shine through. We have fiercely protected our physical health and our spiritual energy. Now let's talk about the incredible engine that holds all of your wisdom and experience, your mind. Spiritual maturity is not a destination, it is a continuous, beautiful unfolding. This brings us to the ninth thing that makes absolutely no sense after 60, stopping learning or thinking you know everything. At some point in our adult lives, many of us unconsciously decide that the learning phase is over. We retire the mind along with the career. We dismiss new ideas, new technology, or new ways of thinking with a dismissive wave, saying, "I've been doing this for decades, I know enough." This intellectual rigidity is a silent form of decay. I want you to think about what happens to a muscle when you stop using it. It atrophies. The same is true for your mind. When you stop challenging it, when you stop exposing it to new perspectives, it slowly closes down, leading to frustration, isolation, and mental rigidity. True wisdom, the kind we cherish and seek on this channel, begins with the Socratic realization, "I know that I know nothing." This humility is the gateway to curiosity. The spiritual practice here is cultivating the beginner's mind, Shoshin. To approach the world, whether it's a new phone app, a new scientific discovery, or a different philosophy, with the wonder and openness of a child. This keeps your spirit youthful, your perspective flexible, and your heart connected to the constantly evolving world around you. The moment you declare, "I know everything," you have effectively sealed the doors of your own growth. And an ungrowing life, no matter how materially comfortable, quickly becomes a dull and isolated one. We have the profound gift of these remaining years to explore interests purely for joy, not for a paycheck. You can dedicate your precious energy to learning a language, mastering a musical instrument, or delving into history. This intentional seeking is the nourishment your intellectual self craves. Lifelong learning is the key to maintaining relevance, not just in the world, but in your own life. It ensures you continue to contribute, to connect across generations, and to find endless sources of vitality and amazement in your final chapters. We have explored the boundless joy of continuous learning for the mind. Now let's apply that wisdom to the largest structure of our adult lives, our careers. For many, work is so intertwined with identity that letting go feels like stepping into a void. This brings us to the 10th thing that makes absolutely no spiritual sense after 60. Continuing full-time work when it is not financially necessary. For decades, we operated under the assumption that we must climb, earn, and save. That engine of ambition powered us through our middle years. But if you have reached a point where your needs are met, where your savings provide security, why are you still on the treadmill? I often see what I call the "just one more year" syndrome. The person stays not because they need the money, but because they fear boredom, fear losing their title, or fear the simple lack of structure. They exchange their limited, healthy, vibrant remaining years for dollars that will never be spent, trading their precious life force for unnecessary security. I want you to imagine the balance sheet for this exchange.
On one side, you have the currency of your physical and mental energy, a currency that is absolutely finite. On the other side, you have dollars that simply accumulate. This is a losing transaction. The true value of financial independence is not the money itself. It is the freedom that money buys. That freedom should be used to pursue the kind of purpose that money cannot buy. In our spiritual teachings, we talk about right livelihood. In your later years, this concept evolves into right contribution. Your purpose shifts from earning a living to contributing meaning. This might mean downshifting to part-time work, volunteering your skills, or pivoting entirely to a passion project that uses your wisdom without consuming all your vital energy. The highest act of maturity is being able to define your life by contribution rather than consumption. By choosing to step away from the full-time grind, you create the space for deeper connection, health preservation, and the cultivation of inner peace. Do not allow the habits of the past to steal the self-determination of your future. You have earned the right to structure your days around fulfillment, not around obligation. Reclaim your sovereignty over your precious years and use them to live fully in your cultivated presence. We have bravely chosen to reclaim our energy from unnecessary work and from the noise of the outside world. Now we must turn our gaze toward the center of our lives, the physical space we call home. For many, this space, which once represented security and success, has quietly morphed into the largest and heaviest burden we carry. This is the 11th thing that makes absolutely no spiritual sense after 60, clinging to a large, burdening home. Think about the sheer scale of the average family home that was acquired in our prime earning years. It was meant to hold 3, 4, or maybe even 5 people plus all their belongings, hobbies, and activities. But now the children have grown, they have forged their own paths, and those bustling rooms have fallen silent. What remains is a monumental structure far too large for the 2 or perhaps just 1 soul residing within its walls. The great deception of the modern age is the belief that size equals security. We equated a large mortgage and sprawling square footage with a life well lived. But when we look honestly at the ledger of our later precious years, the calculation changes entirely. We must acknowledge that the maintenance, the constant repairs, the endless cleaning, and the staggering financial demands of property taxes and heating bills, all these costs do not just subtract from your bank account, they subtract from your freedom. I want you to imagine the attic of your current home. Picture the distant corners of the basement. Are those spaces filled with family memories, or are they filled with obligations? Are you paying taxes and heating costs for rooms you haven't entered in 6 months? The large home stops being a sanctuary and starts feeling like a cage, a vast expanse of space you must constantly police and maintain. Let's dissect the physical burden first, because it is often the most overlooked. At 45, climbing a ladder to clean gutters or spending a weekend scrubbing grout in a massive kitchen was routine. At 65, these tasks become sources of genuine physical risk and exhaustion. You are trading valuable, irreplaceable life force, the kind of energy you need for travel passion projects or connecting with friends, for mundane, physically demanding labor that you no longer need to perform. Furthermore, the financial component is a constant drain on your accumulated wealth. You achieved financial independence so you could live on your own terms. Yet the property tax bill arrives every year, a silent, non-negotiable tax on your accumulated space. You're essentially paying a heavy premium to store objects and maintain rooms that are empty. This is not wisdom. This is sentimentality hijacking common sense. I often work with individuals who feel obligated to hold on to the house for the children.
They say, this is where they grew up. They might want to come back. I want you to reflect on that statement. Your children do not want you to sacrifice your hard-won peace and financial security for an idea of a home they may visit twice a year. Your children want you to be healthy, happy, and financially secure enough to enjoy their grandchildren and be fully present in your own life. Your house is a building. Your family is a connection of hearts. The second layer of this burden is the spiritual and emotional cost, the memory trap. When we decide to sell the family home, we fear we are selling our history. We fear that if the walls that witness the milestones disappear, the memories contained within them will also fade. This is a beautiful illusion, but an illusion nonetheless. I want you to close your eyes and recall your most cherished memory in that house. The sound of laughter, a deeply meaningful conversation, the smell of holiday baking. Where is that memory stored? It is not in the drywall or the carpet. It is stored inside your consciousness, your heart, and the hearts of your loved ones. The house was merely the stage. You and your family were the actors. Letting go of the house is not letting go of the memory. It is acknowledging that the memory is so powerful it can travel with you anywhere. It lives in your soul. When you stop using a large building as a substitute for your internal history, you finally liberate your identity. Many feel that their identity is tied to the title homeowner of 123 Main Street. They fear that downsizing is a step down, a sign of decline. In our spiritual work, we flip this perspective entirely. Downsizing is a radical step up. It is a clear declaration that you are prioritizing freedom over possession, flexibility over anchorage, and experience over storage. The wise path, the Buddhist path of non-attachment, teaches us about the concept of right shelter. Your shelter should be supportive, safe, and conducive to a life of wisdom and peace. It should not be a constant source of stress, expense, and exhaustion. When you simplify your living situation, you achieve an incredible spiritual alignment. Financial liberation. You convert dead equity money trapped in square footage into liquid capital. This capital can be used to fund experiences, support a charitable cause, or simply provide a cushion that allows you to live without financial anxiety for your remaining years. This frees your mind from the anxiety of what if. 2. Energy reclaimed. All the energy that was previously consumed by cleaning, repairing, and maintaining a massive structure is suddenly available for conscious, joyful living. Imagine what you could do with an extra 10 to 15 hours of focused, joyful presence each week. You could spend it volunteering, painting, learning, or simply deepening your connection with loved ones. 3. Physical safety and ease. You move into a space designed for simplicity, often with less stairs, less yard work, and fewer complicated systems. This ensures your body remains safe and your physical energy is preserved for activities that bring you genuine fulfillment. The act of decluttering and downsizing is itself a profound spiritual practice. It forces you to look at every object you own and ask the vital question: does this support my future, or is it anchoring me to the past? This process is truly liberating for the soul. If the idea of letting go feels overwhelming, I invite you to start small, but start with intention. First, designate one empty room, perhaps the old dining room or a spare bedroom, and ask yourself,
what kind of life you could create in that space if the house were simplified. Could it be a dedicated art studio? Could it be a serene meditation space? Let that vision of possibility motivate you.
Second, tighten the decluttering process with the things you haven't touched in a decade. These items are the easiest to release. Do not think of this as throwing things away. Think of it as redistributing abundance to those who can still use it, ensuring your objects continue to serve a purpose. Finally, redefine your goal. You are not moving to a smaller house. You are moving to a wiser house. You are creating a home that perfectly matches the scale of your current needs and your future aspirations. You are choosing to invest in experiences over square footage, mobility over anchorage, and the boundless presence of the moment over the ghosts of the past. The house is merely a container. It is you that is the treasure. Liberate yourself from the weight of too much foundation and use your remaining precious years to build a life rich in depth and meaning. If today's reflection resonates with you, you're welcome to support the channel by liking, sharing, or subscribing. Each small action you take is a source of energy that helps me continue creating mindful content for the @Buddha Essence Wisdom community.